TV, great to have you with us for a Friday night, heading into round 2, massive weekend coming up, lots and lots of games, and we'll be looking at the biggest game in each division in just a moment. But before we do that, let's just revisit last night. It has been a couple of huge days on Big V TV. The numbers, the viewers have been out of control. Of course, on Wednesday we put up our fantasy teams for women. Had to have 2 inputs in there. My best 10, your best 10, your best 10.
That one was fine. That one was fine.
Well, it was a cakewalk for me.
No, I mean, it was pretty tight.
As expected. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Thursday, last night, we put up the men's, our men's fantasy teams. And I've got to tell you, some of the comments have been gold.
There's one thing we can all agree on.
What's that?
Steve would be the worst general manager
I got hammered
of all time.
How could you leave out the reigning state championship men's league MVP? People are just bewildered by that.
There's a bit of difference.
A bit of difference. What did he say last night on the show? I wanted to go for more height.
He needed size, and picked Polky over.
Dylan Stith is a 6'6" scoring machine, dunking machine, rebounding machine. Took 15 rebounds last week.
Yeah, that's because you played him for 40 minutes.
Oh, jeez, I haven't listened to you. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone out there. 1, for participating and putting your own thoughts out there, and 2, for giving us plenty of rubbish. We accept that. That's okay. We'll wear that.
It's all part of the fun.
There's a few of the younger brigade across the Big V over the last couple of days. Very disappointed. Chloe Angove never got in.
No.
The entire Tatlock family did not get one mention the last 2 nights. Very disappointed down there.
Do you know what's great about the start to this episode?
Mate, their dog Tickles Tatlock expected to be in a team somewhere. So
there's going to just be more complaints about media fines. That's all we see in the comments. Tatlocks and Angers from the Hangers, media fines all over the place.
I think just about every team now has media fines, don't they? Based on anyone who gets a mention on here.
Yeah, it'd go pretty close to every association.
So if you've got a person at your club who is either loaded with money,
or broke,
or they're tight as a fish's backside, or they're completely broke, just let us know what their name is, and we'll make sure we mention them 6,000 times.
Yeah, works well.
Youth League 2 women, here we go. Here's the games coming up for round 2. It's a nice little round, this one, and our game of the week is down at Packy. Cootsie will be in action. They take on Blackburn, both winners in round 1.
Yeah, that's right. Pakenham just got over the line to Frankston last week. They'll be looking to take the next step. Obviously, Blackburn runners-up last year.
Yep.
They'll be looking to further continue their start of the season. Both 1-0, so it'll be an interesting early season matchup.
If Cootsie did what she did last week, which is a bit of everything, Pakenham will be a chance at home.
Yeah, she only played 32 minutes, had 18 points, had 4 assists. She shot the ball pretty well.
A few blocks.
Was all over the place.
Yeah.
It was a great game to see, and look, if she's going like that all season, they're going to be a tough team to beat in that comp.
Agreed. Youth League 2 men, there's the games coming up in round 2. A couple of teams looking good heading into round 2. It is our game of the week, is Melton and Western Port.
Well, Melton simply flew very much under the radar in the pre-season.
Yeah, they were good last week.
Come out 2-0, ball back, very good player. Actually, got to see one of his dunks in round 1.
Nice.
Can fly.
Don't get me wrong, we've played 1 round, but he's a very, very exciting prospect for being right up there in the voting this season. Ball back. I know I've gone early, but based on what we saw last week,
yes,
he's a very good player.
She'd struggled to go earlier than that.
Well, I could have gone during pre-season. Melton for mine in what should be a good game. Let's go to Youth League 1 women, Geelong and Keilor, Craig. There's the games for the weekend, but this is our game of the week. Yeah,
it's going to be a great game again. We saw Keilor get off to a great start, having a comfortable win, and Geelong as well, both teams winning by double digits and hoping to keep that momentum going. There was a couple of big differences in the scores in that league last week.
Well, Craig, clearly there's been some editing done here because of your foul mouth. Tell us about Youth League 1. Tell us about Geelong. Tell us a little bit about the team.
I'm not even going to continue. Steve, take it away.
He's been caught out, hasn't he? Let's go on to Youth League 1 men. Werribee And Ballarat, I like the looks of Werribee, Steve. They do this every year. They're a very good unit down there, the Devs.
Well, they were one game short last year, weren't
Yes.
they? Obviously, Keilor were hot favourites in that grand final. They took one game away from the Thunder. They've obviously gone up to the next division. Werribee hot favourites probably all the way through this season.
Yes.
They'll be the benchmark team. They'll be the barometer. Expect them to pile on the pressure again in round 2.
I reckon Werribee down there, they must come in, Craig, and learn a 6-second offence. They just love to score.
Yeah, all their teams down there fly up and down the floor. It's a great coaching system over there at Werribee, one of the strongest associations going around now, and you can really
They're building,
see
aren't they?
You can really see it filter all the way through their teams.
VYC women with thanks to Moulton. It was a really exciting opening round. A lot to like about it. We've picked out game of the week this week. There's all the games there, but Kilsyth and Diamond Valley in particular looks like a special one.
Well, Kilsyth were probably a little bit underwhelming in season 2017.
Fair call.
Regrouped, found a couple, or a really good core led by Taylor Black in round
Yes.
1. Diamond Valley probably done something similar as well. They brought back Amelia Smith. Meg Krupi came back from college. Got
Yep.
a couple of other key players there. So I'm keen to see where this fixture sort of takes them into the future.
And they've had some changes at DV. The Valentes, for
Yes.
instance, they've had some
Off
changes.
to Melbourne.
Look, it's a nice little game, that one. It's a really good test for Kilsyth too. I think there might have been a few people that said, oh, you know, they only beat Warrandyte last week coming up, that sort of stuff. But I reckon this is a good test.
I was impressed with Kilsyth's depth in the first week. You know, they did have Taylor Black, who had a great weekend, but 4 or 5 other players that bobbed up and were good supporting casts.
Let's go to VYC men with thanks to Melton. We're talking Kilsyth again. They're a juggernaut in this competition, but they're coming up against a team who I think really rates themselves, and they're happy to back themselves in against anyone they come up against, and that's Hawthorn. Hawthorn-Kilsyth is the game of the week for us in round 2.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting for Hawthorn. Off to a good start. They're both very, very tight games, and did they just win a close one and play well on the weekend, or can they extend it? This is the real test. If they come out and push Kilsyth or win the game, they're legit this season.
Well, they've got to find a way to stop Mitchy Boy Dillmans and
your
Jordan
mate.
Adnam. Yeah,
Yeah.
my mate Adnam, yeah.
I think I agree with Craig's comments in terms of Hawthorn. Defeating Keilor and Boy in round 1 was really, really good. Great start. Kilsyth round 2 is that benchmark to see where they really are in terms of the competition.
I think it's a good call. Let's go to Division 2 women. There's the games coming up for round 2. Had a bit of fun watching some of these games last week. What was really surprising was seeing what Collingwood did to Melbourne Uni. What was really encouraging was seeing what North East did across 2 games. Our game of the week is Melbourne Uni against North East. The Bushies going for 3 on the trot. Melbourne Uni trying to resurrect what happened last week.
Yeah, fair to say they were fairly ordinary in their first game, and they really need to improve. They were strong last year. Look for Fiddler on the roof to get going. She only shot 2 of 10 last week. Only the 7 points. Much better play than that, as we all know.
Yeah. Now we mentioned, I think, a couple of weeks on the show as well that
Don't say we. Like
We.
You don't throw us down with you.
well.
With I know what you're going to say next.
Yeah, well, you had it in your notes about Fina Newton playing out there at Melbourne Uni. You do realise she's moved, Fina.
That was all you.
You do realise she's one of my favourites.
You're the one who read it out.
Oh, it's because it was on the notes, you fool. You do realise that Fina has moved. She's
That's
over
right.
at Hawthorn now.
Took the trip up to Mildura last weekend with the Hawthorn Magic as they went down to Mildura in Division 1 women.
Yes, they did. I just wanted to put that out there because I knew what was going on, but these guys clearly didn't. Division 2
I
men.
think she was hurt by that.
Well,
That you didn't know her whereabouts.
No, I know where she is.
Somehow she managed to get a media fine. We weren't even talking about her team, so that's a new record there.
Melbourne Uni.
Melbourne Uni fined it. Division 2 men, here's the games coming up in round 2. We've gone with Craigieburn and Sherbrooke as the game of the round. Why have we done that, Steve?
Well, that's a great question because I think Craig was picking Division 2 men. But certainly Sherbrooke retooled, got a good win over the weekend.
Did they
have
split?
Did
Yeah,
have that
one.
loss over the weekend. I think Craigieburn, looking back in season 2017, how they were so consistent.
Yeah.
They got that loss on the weekend, I believe, Craigieburn. No, they won. We'll take that one back. I think Sherbrooke will see Craigieburn and highlight that on the calendar.
Did I see Hot and Spicy? He shot well for Sherbrooke Saturday night, didn't he, last week? And Nick Spicer, Hot and Spicy, they call him up there.
Nick Spicer is what we call him down here.
Oh, I know, but up at Sherbrooke they call him Hot and Spicy.
I'm sure
That's
no
all
one
the
has
time.
ever called him hot and
It's-
spicy to his face.
It's his nickname at Sherbrooke. When you go and watch, if you go up to the mountain this year, because you usually don't go outside of 3 kilometres of your house, if you go up to Sherbrooke, when he's out on the court, you'll hear them yelling out, hot and spicy. That's Nick Spicer. He shot very well, I think, Saturday night's game last week.
Yeah, and had a running buddy in new import Travis Joy as well.
Very good.
The duo there were pretty good.
You think Sherbrooke can get it on the road at Craigieburn?
I think, again, what we mentioned before, it's a great measuring stick for them. If they can prove that they're competitive enough against a team as good as Craigieburn, they can measure up to any team in the comp. I'll give them a chance. They're a red-hot chance.
Big chance. Red hot, hot and spicy. There you go. D1 women. Really like the game of the round we've picked out here. There's the games coming up. Some big results last week. Camberwell's OT win against Geelong was a beauty. Very, very good. Talia Higgs, who has been out for a couple of years, we mentioned this earlier on in the week, formerly playing at Waverley, came back into the system last week. 29 points she hit for Camberwell, was very good. Anyway, our game of the week this week is Warrnambool and Casey.
Two of the powerhouses in
expected
powerhouses really need to put their foot down, and this is a game I think they'll both have circled because power oppositions, and you really want to deliver a big result in a week like this.
And Warrnambool, Strom and McKinnon last week, I mean, they were very good.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see Warrnambool's season last year dominated Division 2 women. We expected them to take the leap and be competitive again, but I think we've probably underestimated them to a point.
It's only 1 week.
I know, yeah. But if you go over the next month or so, they'll be pretty competitive in Division 1 women. This is great starts.
Tomorrow night at the Arc, there'll be plenty of people down there, and it's a nice little test because we know Casey have absolutely loaded up.
Yeah, they put the hammer to Tenali Hood's old team in their first game, Casey, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Who are you going for, Warrnambool or Casey?
Warrnambool.
Casey.
It's
a good game.
It's a very good game, and trust me, you always are at risk when you tip against Warrnambool at the Arc.
Yep.
I reckon they're a 10 to 15 point better team before you even start there.
Yep.
But just don't be surprised if you see T Hoods and B Lucas start to get rolling tomorrow night. It's a really big test for Casey. D1 men. We love this competition. There's so much going on every week. Corey Standover was just sublime last week. Of course, there was a big upset of what we thought was an upset, Collingwood getting over the top of Melbourne Uni. But the game of the week actually features Corey Standover. Latrobe were good down at Warrnambool last week. So 10-point margin. Don't panic though. Davey Crockett is a ripper of an import. He's on his home deck for the first time. I'm sure there'll be a big crowd. They take on Chelsea. It's going to be Davey Crockett up against Corey Standover. That's a great matchup.
And as he just said, Warrnambool probably a 15 better team at home. Yep. So you play that game on the road, you beat them by 5 by using your maths. Maybe, that's a pretty good game.
Who are you going to go for?
Chelsea's going to win this game.
Yeah. Why, Steve?
Probably a couple of key pointers there. Latrobe just need to find a second cog to run with. Their import. The other thing with Chelsea is they've got guys around Corey Standover. The big one,
Frosty the Snowman, is very good last week. Yeah.
Nathan Frost coming up from Youth League, I believe. I think he dropped 19 points in the season opener. He's going to be really key for the girls.
Frosty, I think he had 27 and 19 games last week. Frosty the Snowman looks a ripper. Matty Brasser, very good. I agree. I think Chelsea's got a little bit too much depth for Latrobe.
Yeah, I think Chelsea have a real formula and they know how to win. It's everyone does their part, and Corey is a superstar. And I think Latrobe, maybe early in the season, you're adding an import, might still be trying to find that formula for how to win games.
It's the old boxing one theory against Chelsea. Get 4 players on Corey and get 1 to look after the other 4. State champ women.
Oh, they'll knock down those 3s though. They got enough shooters out there.
That's really disrespectful to the 4 players from Chelsea.
I mean, Frosty and Brasser are legitimate great players, and you just throw them right.
Do you two have to be so serious all the time? State champ women, there's the games coming up. After what you two have selected in the last 2 days, seriously.
Let's go, state champ women.
Fiend and Newton, you've absolutely dodged a bullet there. State champ women, games coming up for round 2. Waverley and Sunbury is our pick of the weekend, and it's probably been juiced up a little bit by the fact that we expect Tegan Cunningham to come back in for Waverley, given that her AFLW commitments are out the way.
Yeah, Waverley were good in their first week, pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding. Jump on the show.
I don't know that we can do this.
Jump on the show.
Oh, hang on. Just our viewers don't know what's going on here, so we'll just stay there for a second. We'll bring you on in 2 seconds.
Special guest.
A special guest has just burst into the studio like there's no tomorrow.
He owns it.
Well, we'll bring him on in a moment. Waverley and Sunbury.
Well, I think Sunbury, we've seen what they can do over the last 12, 13,
Bit
14,
too strong.
Different team this year, Sunbury.
Yeah.
Certainly a different team. They'll take a little bit of time to gel. They are a strong core, but it'll probably be. I didn't say it wouldn't take long. Could be 2-3 weeks.
Some good matchups here,
but certainly some good individual matchups. Yeah, absolutely.
Sunbury for mine will get this.
Yeah, I think Sunbury, but I was impressed with Sunbury's depth too, added to the team. You know, they did lose Courtney Duva, but it was a great addition. Yeah.
Nice addition. Now listen, let's go to state champ men, and whilst we do that, can we bring in one of the great...
I'll step aside, vacate my chair.
We'll take you out.
There you go. Yep.
We are going to bring in one of the greatest ever state champ men's players in the history of the Big V. He's burst into the studio like he owns the bloody joint. There's no doubt he's a man who loves the camera, loved it for many, many years on Big V TV.
Hair's a little bit longer than it was when he used to be on Big V TV.
He has one of those stupid man buns, but that's all right, don't hold that against him. Look, he is a self-confessed superstar of Big V. He's Big V royalty, there's no doubt. Would you please welcome in our special guest, all the way from the other side of the world. Come on, in you come. In you come, here he is, Mr. Callum Chambers. Sweet Cal himself is back for the first time.
Are you going to wax his legs
in about 5 years. How are you, son?
I'm good, mate. Good to see you.
Great to see
Literally
you
haven't seen you for a year and a half.
Yeah, I did not see you to the moment you walked in the door. Hey, this is Friday night Big V TV heading into round 2. We're getting through to state champ.
Let him run through. He can do our game of the round for state champ men.
Well, state champ men, there's the games coming up in round 2. It was a cracker of an opener.
Right, okay.
Good news is your McKinnon boys just got up.
Right.
Just
against
got
Casey,
up.
wasn't it?
Against Casey. Good to see you checking in on us.
Dylan had another absolute monster.
Well, he did. And it's funny you should bring up Dylan, because last night on Big V TV, we're just extending overtime on a Friday night now, but last night on Big V TV, we had to put up our fantasy teams for the season.
Oh, yeah.
You could have 2 imports in there.
Right.
Now, of course, my first import selected, reigning MVP, Dylan Stein.
Yes.
Without doubt.
Yes. It's an easy one.
And Craig, first name down. Steve Chalmers left him out of his team altogether.
Did you forget him? I don't know if you've seen Dylan play, but...
Ask him what his reasoning was.
Oh no, don't ask him. Trust me, he's not tall enough apparently.
Can't really jump. Can't jump.
State champ men game of the week, by the way. Let's get that out of the way quickly. Casey and Knox, and it is a very pertinent game because they're both coming off opening round losses, and they're both expected to be front runners this season. Craig.
Yeah, I think they're both expected to be powerhouses off the competition. Knox, very disappointing. Week 1.
Down by 30 at one stage in the game.
I mean, they were terrible in that game, to be honest. And Casey, they got the new stadium out there. Big hopes coming to this season. Both teams are going to be ready to go. It's going to be interesting to see how Knox bounce back. So I think Casey were better than them last week.
I think Casey start favourites here for mine.
Well, Casey lost to a pretty good outfit, so I would say that Casey are further ahead at this stage.
Rightio, so there's round 2, Big V coming up this weekend. Now, before we get out of here, literally, we have just walked into each other for the first time in a couple of years. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, tell all the fantastic Big V family out there. This is the 9th season of Big V TV, by the way.
9, is it? Wow.
9 seasons, and for those of you who may have joined for the first time in the last few years, this man beside me sat beside me for the first 5 years of Big V TV.
Yeah, it would have been something like that. You coined me that stupid nickname that has absolutely stuck like glue, which I appreciate.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been up to? Tell Big V family.
Oh, I'm in the thriving basketball hub known as London.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's good fun. Doing a few bits and pieces over there.
Yeah, enjoying it still?
I am. I've escaped the weather for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just for a few weeks. I'm heading back tomorrow, but yeah, I thought I'd pop my head in here and
like it.
See that hill of yours.
There's a few more grey hairs these days, but that's okay.
Oh
yeah, great. Thanks.
I was going to leave it actually. I was.
Is there any drinking establishment you haven't visited yet in the great city of London?
I was going to say, has there been any sort of drinking? And I said I was going to leave it, but yeah, no, there aren't many left.
Right,
there aren't many left. it's a nice little spot for that sort of thing. There's a pub or two.
And quite seriously, basketball-wise over there, what's on the menu?
At the moment, it consists of a midweek Wednesday game of the lads. Sam Eyre.
We know he's over there. Yes, Adrian Muir's over there. It's the Cougars getting back together.
And Jeremy Curley used to play for Dan Curley, former president of Basketball Victoria's son. We have a team. And a few
just
other,
the four of you taking on everyone else?
Well, you know what? No, we have some very, very handy players as well to go alongside them. But that is absolutely the call.
You do call them the fillings, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Hey, great to see you, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry for kicking you off, Steve.
No, very good.
It's an improvement, probably.
No, it is. Get rid of that man bun, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, have a great weekend. Round 2 coming up. Great to catch up with this guy. We'll have some good things to catch up on. Once we get off air, go and enjoy the weekend. Support your team as always. We'll be back here on Monday night, right here at the desk. Big VTV. See you then.